Good evening. It's Monday, October 31st, 2022. Welcome back to BoomerRexTonight, your nearly daily source for news and politics. I'm RisenLadyHeathen. Hey, asshole. What's up, It's our show from other Millennial news podcasts.
Yeah, sometimes we do this sort of thing.
Fair.
And there's a gate, and if you come through it, I don't care if it is Halloween, you still go in the fat.
Okay.
Yeah, don't go into people's
I'd
gardens.
put fucking Santa in the fat if I caught him.
Fair. We have a boomer, and not just any boomer. We have Mr. Boomer Rex himself.
Yeah, I like that Rex part.
You two eat, sleep, and breathe politics, and I'm still learning us three unique perspectives we share along with the facts from our literal round table. First of all, I want to say Happy Halloween!
Yay.
As promised, we have a very special treat for you tonight. But first, I have to give a warning, a content warning. The game that follows includes descriptions of sex acts, poor though they may be, and violence, which is also just terribly explained. So probably not.
While you're getting your parents' permission, get money.
Yeah.
Send it to me.
So
I need an airship.
In general, bad plots and horrendous grammar is what we have to look forward to this evening. So this is not an episode I would let your children or young teens listen to until after you can listen to it yourself and decide if you feel it's appropriate for your child. So that's
Now, there's a warning.
Line that I
Throwing
need
it out
an
there.
airship and you need a lunatic ambivalent god.
So with this all in mind, okay, let's dig right into the rules of the Eye of Argon. Okay, this is a game where you read this story, and there are rules to how you have to read the story and that kind of thing. So let's read these rules. Number one, I found these rules on www.users.cs.york.ac.uk/blah blah blah. Okay, so you just Google rules for Eye of Argon and it'll come up. Anyway, rule number one. Read it exactly as written. Use only the punctuation that is there. No more, no less. Pronounce the words as spelled, not what you think was meant. Rule number two. Hold on. I'm going to pause. All right, sorry about that interruption. Our old man dog had an accident, so we just cleaned that up. Okay, so let's move on. What was that? Rule two. So with rule one, if you say what you think the word was, or if you correct the grammar or whatever, and if it's misspelled and you say the right word, you have to hand it off. So the next person starts reading. Yeah. Rule number two, when you start laughing, you're done and must also pass it to the next reader. Rule number three, the next reader must start at the beginning of the sentence that cracked up the previous reader. That way there's no misunderstanding.
Yeah.
If you begin laughing uncontrollably before you start, you must pass it on. And rule number four, anyone who makes it through a full page is pronounced either a professional newsreader or over-rehearsed and must pass it on. So, and then rule number
Do we have
5
pages?
No.
is no fair hurrying through without thinking about what you are reading. Okay, so you have to read this in a proper dramatic reading, and you can also act out scenes, which is optional. So these are the rules. Okay, so you have to pay very close attention to what you are reading at any point in time. All right. Do we know who wants to start?
I'll start. Okay. The weather-beaten trail wound ahead into the dust-racked climes of the barren land. which dominates large portions of the Norgolian Empire. Age-worn hoofprints, smothered by the sifting sands of time, shone dully against the dust-splattered crust of earth.
Not how dust works.
The tireless sun cast its parching rays of incandescence from overhead, halfway through its daily revolution. Small rodents scampered about, occupying themselves in the daily accomplishments of their dismal lives. Dust sprayed over 3 heaving mounts in blinding clouds, while they bore the burdensome cargoes of their struggling overseers.
Where we going, Dave? I don't know, man. I can't see shit in here. Sorry, I'm
Oh, yeah.
literally.
Prepare to embrace your creators in the Stygian haunts of hell, barbarian, gasped the first soldier. Only after you've kissed the fleeting steed of death, wretch. A sweeping blade of flashing steel.
You missed the end of that. Unless yours is different.
No, go ahead.
Only after you have kissed the fleeting steed of death, wretch, returned Grignr. Grignr.
Yeah, I get Grignr.
Yeah, Grignr. A sweeping blade of flashing steel riveted from the massive barbarian's hide, enameled shield as his rippling right arm thrust forth, standing a steel-shod blade to the hilt into the soldier's vital organs. The disemboweled mercenary crumpled from his saddle and sank to the clouded sward, sprinkling the parched dust with crimson droplets of escaping life fluid. The enthused barbarian swiveled about, his shock of fiery red hair tossing robustly in the humid air currents as he faced the attack of the defeated soldier's fellow in arms. "Damn you, barbarian!" shrieked the soldier as he observed his comrade in death. A gleaming scimitar smote a heavy blow against the renegade's spiked helmet. A gleaming scimitar was the sentence.
A gleaming scimitar smote a heavy blow against the renegade's spiked helm, bringing a heavy cloud over the accordion's misting brain. Shaking off the effects of the pounding blow to his head, Grignr, fucking dumb name. That's it. I couldn't,
I couldn't get past Grignr.
Shaking off the effects of the pounding blow to his head, Grignr brought down his scarlet-streaked edge against the soldier's crudely formed hauberk. Clanging...
It's crudely forged. You said formed.
You're right.
Okay. Wow, that is a serious run-on sentence. We're going all the way back to
Jesus.
shaking off the effects of... Okay. Shaking off the effects of the pounding blow to his head, Grignr brought down his scarlet-streaked edge against the soldier's crudely forged hauberk. Hauberk. That's what it says. Shit. Clanging harmlessly to the left side of his opponent, the soldier's stead whinnied as he directed the horse back from the driving blade of the Bardarian? The Bardarian. Grignr leashed his mount forward as the horse hoarsely? As the hoarsely piercing battle cry of his wilderness-bred race resounded from his grinding lungs, a twirling blade bounced harmlessly from the mighty thief's buckler as his rolling right arm cleft upward, sending a foot of blinding steel ripping through the scimitar's exposed gullet. The
Sumerian.
Sumerians. Yeah, okay, that's your...
No.
Which rolling blade?
Yeah, twirling blade bounced harmlessly from the mighty thief's buckler as his rolling right arm cleft upwards, sending a foot of blinding steel ripping through the Sumerian's exposed gullet. Gasping, gurgle, fuck.
A gasping girdle from the soldier's
Girdle.
writhing mouth.
So,
As he tumbled to the golden hand at his feet and wormed agonizingly in his deathbed. Grignr's emerald green gorbs glared lustfully at the wallowing soldier struggling before his chestnut
Lustfully?
mount.
Why would he stare at it?
I don't.
His
Don't be
scowling
shaken.
voice reverberated over the dying form in a tone mocking mirth. Your city,
Where are we? I
you city
got
bred.
lost.
We're under Grignr's emerald, right?
Oh, okay.
With lustfully
He
gazing
just got
things.
through
His
laughing.
scowling voice is over. Okay. Oh no, that was the sentence before. Reverberated as a giant.
Grignr, a corpse fucker.
You city bred
Okay,
dogs.
there we are. I see it. You city-bred dogs should learn not to antagonize your better. Reining his weary mount ahead, Grignr, not capitalized, resumed his journey to the Norwegian city of Gorzom, hoping to discover wine, women, and adventure to boil the wild blood coursing through his savage veins. The trek to Gorzom was forced upon Grignr. Really? It says forced upon? Okay. Was forced upon Grignr when the soldiers of Kryn were leashed? Fuck. Okay, that's you.
Yeah. The trek to Gorzon was forced upon Grignr when the soldiers of Kryn were leashed upon him from a faithless concubine. He
It
had
says
wooed.
by a faithless.
Fuck me. God damn it. I got sidetracked by the concubine. I now feel
know.
a lot more representation from Grignr.
The trek to Gorgum was forced upon Grignr when the soldiers of Kryn were leashed upon him by a faithless concubine he had wooed. His scandalous activities throughout the Cimmerian city had unleashed throngs of havoc and uproar among its refined patricians, leading them to tack a heavy reward over his head. He had barely managed to escape through the back entrance of the inn.
I'm going to go back
He
to
had
attacking
been
everything over his head.
guzzling in as a squad of soldiers trounced upon him.
Guzzling in? What? Was he drinking
He
now?
had been
I'm
guzzling
guessing,
in.
yeah. After spilling a spout of blood from the leader of the mercenaries, as he dismembered one of the officer's arms, he retreated to his mount to make his way towards Gorzum. Rumored to contain hordes of plunder and many young wenches for any man who has the backbone to wrest them away.
So he's drinking at the back door of a bar.
Yeah, just,
That is fucking sad
just
shit.
guzzling. Just guzzling
Yeah.
whatever. The paint thinner, maybe. I don't know.
Arise.
Okay. Arriving after dusk in Gorzom, Grignr, again not capitalized and with no space between the comma and his name, descended down a dismal alley, reining his horse before a beaten tavern. The red-haired giant strode into the dimly lit hostelry, reeking of foul odors and cheap wine.
Don't go in stinky fucking hotels.
Right? The air was heavy with choking
I assumed the reeking of foul odors and cheap wine was him.
Maybe.
Anyway.
It's true, he had been guzzling previously.
The air was heavy with choking fumes spewing from smoke. What?
Oh, you're good.
Choke? It doesn't say chalking. It says
Yeah.
choking, right?
Yes.
Okay. With choking fumes spewing from smoldering torches, all one word. Smoldering torches, there's no space. How do you... Smoldering torches, encased within Theoden's earthen-packed walls. Is that a person?
I think it's the dens.
But it's all one word and there's no capital.
So yeah, I would definitely hit it as the dens or some equivalent.
Theodens. Yeah, Theodens. Well, you can go because I messed it up no matter how you look at it.
The air was heavy with choking fumes, spewing from smoldering torches. You're right. No, it's the fucking spacing. Encased within the den's earthen-packed walls, tables were clustered with groups of drunken thieves, cutthroats, tossing dice or making love to willing prostitutes. Eyeing a slender female crouched alone nearby bench. No, I can't do it. Because I picture you like frog squatting up on the bench. Like gargoyle status. Like, fuck.
No, and again, like, so before he was saying he was in the bar guzzling, and now all of a sudden
Yeah, but
he's
he rode
back
somewhere.
outside.
Yeah,
he
but
left-
he wrote so. Yeah, he guzzled at some bar. Right, having guzzling as a squad of soldiers pounce upon him after spilling blood. Like he chops a dude up,
like randomly for no.
and then yeah, like
for no
continues
reason.
on some indeterminate distance to another bar where Frog Squatter lives.
So he goes retreats to his mount to make ways to Gorzam, rumored to contain hordes of
Yeah, it's
plunder.
true. And the second page begins with arriving after dusk in Gorzam. So he's at a different horrible bar. Like this, I view as way past dive bar.
Yeah.
This is like flop
No,
house.
but he's just going into places and murdering fools
Hey, they started.
and
that,
then
sure.
wandering on.
They're
Like,
probably all knowing stuff and thinking things.
thinking and cunning.
Didn't want to take the competition into the court.
Whorehouse, yeah.
Courthouse.
I know. Frog Squatter might fucking go for one of the other
Okay, where were we? So that
willing prostitutes. Yeah, eyeing a slender female crouched.
couched.
I'm also introducing some of this problem. Apparently, it's fucking contagious for me.
Crouched. It does say crouched.
Yep.
Okay. Boomer, I think it's your turn. Or did you?
Oh, is it? Eyeing a slender female crouched alone at a nearby bench, Grignr advanced, wishing to wholesomely occupy his time. The flickering torches cast weird
It's not
shafts of
wholesome, buddy.
luminescence, dancing over the half-naked harlot of his choice. Her stringy orchid twine.
Dancing.
Stringy orchid twines. What the fuck?
So she has flowers in her hair at best, or she's
Stringy
like,
orchid twines
Nope,
of
fuck.
hair. So does she have pink hair? Is that what he's trying to say?
I'm thinking she's way more poison ivy half-plant bitch. But
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
I have just started trying to make this better in my own head.
Okay. The flickering torches cast weird shafts of luminescence dancing over the half-naked harlot of his choice. Her stringy orchid twines of hair swing gracefully over the live opaque nose as she raised a half-drained mug to her pale red lips. Glancing upward, the alluring complexion noted the stalwart giant as he rapidly approached. A faint glimmer sparked from the pair of deep blue ovals of the amorous female as she motioned toward Grignr, enticing him to join her. Excuse me. I might choke to death. Okay. Yes.
The barbarian seated himself upon a stool at the wench's side, exposing his body naked save for a loincloth, brandishing a long steel broadsword, an iron spiraled battle helmet, and thick leather sandals to her unobstructed view. Thou hast need to occupy your time, barbarian. Fuck, that's the girl. Questioned the female. The female thing fucking reads weird.
Yeah,
I
comma
know, like-
and no space questioned. Just the
In like the 70s were different, I get it. Only if something worth offering is within my reach, stated the fucking brain, you have to, stated Grignr, as his hands crept to embrace the tempting female who welcomed them with open willingness. That's how whores work, yes?
Mm-hmm.
From where do you come, and by what are you called, gasped the
I
complying
missed
wench.
from where do you come, barbarian?
Yep, see?
My turn?
Yes.
From where do you come, barbarian, and by what are you called? Gasped the complying wench, as Grignr smothered her lips with the blazing touch of his flaming mouth.
Wait, what? Wait, so they're having a conversation
And he's just
kissing?
kissing her through the tongue. Like, no, we're done now. I've captured you, Crouchy.
Oh, Jesus.
The engrossed Titan ignored the queries of the inquisitive female, pulling her towards him and crushing her sagging nipples
Why are her nipples sagging?
to his yearning chest.
That's the only
Without struggle, she gave in, winding her soft arms around the harsh, bronzed hide of Grignr. Corded shoulder blades.
Bronze spelt with a Z. Is that?
As his calloused hands caressed her firm, protruding busts. You make love well, wench, admitted Grignr as he reached for the vessel of potent wine his charge had been quaffing. A flying foot caught the mug Grignr had taken hold of, sending the blood-red contents sloshing over a flickering crescent.
Crescent of what?
Leashing tongues of bright orange flame to the foot-trodden floor.
Right.
How it spilled.
What is happening? Like,
So, like,
They
Jim
haven't even
side
had
chicks
sex
the
yet.
cup, so that's because that's the only thing that's gonna get you to like spilled in an art.
but here's my thing. They haven't even had sex yet.
Apparently they have, because we got to "You Make Love Well" wench.
Yeah, but like they were kissing and he was pressing his
It's
chest
also
against her
possible
chest.
Grignr
He's
doesn't
quick.
know how fucking happens. He just gets rolled by prostitutes, and they don't know how to drug him. They're just like, "Well, you're done, buddy. That's it. I'm probably pregnant now."
Apparently.
Remove yourself, Sirrah. The wench belongs to me, blabbered a drunken soldier, too far consumed by the influences of his virile brew to take note of the superior size of his adversary. Grignr lithely bounded from the startled female, his face lit up to an ashen red ferocity, and eyes locked in a searing feral blaze toward the swaying soldier. "To hell with you, braggart," bellowed the angered Urquhartian as he hefted his finely honed broadsword. The staggering soldier clumsily reached towards the pommel of his dangling sword, but before his hands ever touched the oaken hilt, a silvered flash was slicing the heavy air. The thews of
You
the
would say, like,
savage's
sword
flashing right
that
arm
hilt at his side or
bulged from the
something.
glistening bronze tide as his blade bit deeply into the soldier's neck, lopping off the
Thews?
confused head of his senseless tormentor.
Hold on. The thews of the savages. Thews? What the fuck?
I don't know what a thew is.
What?
It's what's written there.
The thews of the savages.
My closest is gonna be sinews, and I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
Just random words.
Again, our
thrown in
job is
here.
to read as written. It's like a time machine of bad.
Yeah, no, this is terrible. Okay, sorry. You can continue. That fuse thing just really
No, some
threw
of this
me
shit
off.
haunts you. Like, it just wanders around in your head trying to collect this stuff. You're like, do you have a ticket, fucker? Why are you in here?
Right?
With a nauseating thud, the severed oval toppled to the floor as the segregated torso of Grignr's bovine antagonist swayed, then collapsed in a pool of swirled crimson. In the confusion, the soldier's fellows confronted Grignr with unsheathed cutlasses directed toward the latter's scalding makeup. "The slut should have picked his quarry more carefully," roared the victor in a mocking baritone
Wait,
growl.
what? Why is he a slut? Like,
As he
okay.
wiped his dripping blade on the prostrate form and returned it to its scabbard.
It's the worst word
The
Jim
fool
thought.
should have shown more prudence. "However, you shall rue your actions while rotting in the pits," stated one of the sprawled soldier's comrades. Grignr's hands began to remove his blade from its leather housing.
Wait, wasn't it already out? Did he put it back?
He did. Wiped it on the prostrate form, returned it to
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fine. I missed that.
Grignr's hand began to remove his blade from its leather housing, but retarded the motion in face of the blades waving before his face.
Retarded.
"Dismiss your hand from the hilt, barbarian, or you shall find a foot of steel she
We should go back to calling breaks retarders.
Right. Dismiss your hand from the hilt, barbarian, or you shall find a foot of steel sheathed in your gizzard.
So we're talking to bird people.
I guess.
Apparently. Grignr weighed the position, observing his plight, whereupon he took the soldier's advice as the only logical choice. To attempt to hack his way from his present predicament could only warrant certain death. He was of no mind to bring upon his own demise if an alternate path presented itself. The will to necessitate his life forced him to yield to the superior force in hopes of a moment of carelessness later upon the part of his captors, in which he could effect a more plausible means of escape. I honestly believed that this dude was like, really, whatever, why is he afraid of one dude with a fucking sword? Very confused right now. Is there more than one guard here?
Yep.
Like, how many? Is there like 20 of them? Because I really feel
Enough
like...
to scare him.
Soldiers' fellows, unsheathed cutlasses. Yeah, no, I'm not.
More than one knife.
Yeah. Oh, and he's not there with his lusty horse.
Yeah, apparently.
The saggy nipples stole all of his power.
Apparently, yeah, no.
Weird Samson.
Saggy
Samson
nipples will
esque.
do that.
Yeah. You may steady your arms. I will go without a struggle. Your decision is a wise one, yet perhaps you would have been better off had you forced death. The soldier's mouth wrinkled to a sadistic grin of knowing mirth as he prodded his prisoner with his own sword point. After an indiscriminate period of marching through slinking alleyways and dim moonlighted streets, the procession confronted a massive Seraglio?
Seraglio? Who knows?
A massive seraglio. The palace area was surrounded by an iron grating with a lush garden upon all sides. The group was admitted through the gilded gateway, and Grignr was led along, all one word, a stone pathway bordered by plush vegetation, lustfully enhanced by the moon's shimmering rays. Upon reaching the palace, the group was granted entrance, and after several minutes of explanation, led through several winding corridors to a richly draped chamber. Confronting the group was a short, stocky man seated upon a golden throne. Tapestries of richly draped regal blue silk covered all walls of the chamber, while the steps leading to the throne were plated with sparkling white ivory. The man upon the throne had a naked wench seated at each of his arms, and a trusted advisor seated in back of him. How do you know this dude's trusted? Like, is this, he's just making assumptions now? At each corner of the chamber, a guard stood at attention with upraised pikes supported in their hands, golden chainmail adorning their torsos, and barred helmets emitting scarlet plumes enshrouding their heads. The man rose from his throne to the dais surrounding it, his plush turquoise robe dangling loosely from his chunky frame. The soldiers surrounding Grignr fell to their knees with heads bowed to the stone masonry of the floor in fearful dignity to their sovereign liege. Explain the purpose of this intrusion into my chateau. Your serenity?
No.
Serenity.
Serenity.
Nope, I'm sorry, I fucked it up.
Your serenity resplendent and noble grandeur. We have brought this yokel before you. The soldier gestured toward Grignr. For the redress, or your all-knowing wisdom and judgment regarding these fates.
Your all-knowing wisdom.
Oh,
But
it does say wisdom, you're right.
no, I can't. I have to stop for a second or I'll fuck it up instantly. The random stage direction just drills into my brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it doesn't end the quote. It's literally in the middle of the quote that it says, In parentheses, the soldier gestured towards Grignr.
Yeah, stage direction. Right, because you could have made that, he said, gesturing at...
Stage left. Randomly in the middle, like, dude says it. It's like the old cartoons. Like, he is saying this, which is weird.
Your serenity, Nitty. Resplendent noble grandeur, we have brought this yokel before you, the soldier gestured towards Grignr, for the redress of your all-knowing wisdom in judgment regarding his fate. Down on your knees, lout, and pay proper homage to your sovereign, commanded the pudgy noble of Grignr. By the surly beard of Mirific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grignr kneels to no man, scowled the massive barbarian. You dare to deal this blasphemous act to me? You are inbred brave, stranger. In fucking shit. Obviously, that's my own internal hatred towards Grignr and Mirfik.
Indeed.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna read it as inbred. I'm out.
Your turn, Grignr. You
dare to deal this blasphemous act to me? You are indeed brave, stranger, yet your valor smacks of foolishness. I find you to be the only fool sitting upon your pompous throne, enhancing the rolling flabs of your belly in the midst of your elaborate luxury, and the soldier standing at Grignr's side smote him heavily in the face with a fist of his sword.
Yeah, no, right?
just so y'all know, luxury end, that's, again, one word. So it's not luxury and, it's luxury end.
Yep.
So I think, I have no idea where he was going with that. Luxuriant, I think, maybe? But anyway. The soldier standing at Grignr's side smote him heavily in the face with the flat of his sword, cutting short the harsh words and knocking his battered helmet to the masonry with an echoing clang. The punchy noble's sagging round face flushed suddenly pale, then hastily lit up to a lustrous cherry red radiance.
There's a whole fucking mood going on in this dude right now.
His lips trembled with malicious rage while emitting a muffled, sibilant gibberish. No idea where he was going with that. His sagging flabs rolled like a tub of upset jelly, then compressed as he sucked in his gut in an attempt to conceal his softness.
Dude, I basically watched your Edgar suit ripple. Like, you're not gonna then be like, flex. Oh, they hate that.
I hate it when you do that. Oh, I laughed. Fuck, it's your turn.
You don't have to lose a turn because you laugh because of shit I say.
No, but that's part of the game. We gotta get each other to laugh and stuff. You know that. Okay, so go ahead.
No, see, this is how my plan fucked me up. I conceal the softness. The prince regained his statue. Oh, good. I know he was looking for that. Then spoke to the soldiers surrounding Grignr.
I hate it when I lose statues.
His face conforming to an ugly expression of sadistic humor. Take this uncouth heathen to the vault of misery, and be sure that his agonies are long and drawn out before death can release him.
But, okay, first of all, dude has a vault of misery. What is he, 5?
Fuck off. That's where I'm gonna put the fucking vat in the apocalypse.
It's a dungeon. Just call it a fucking dungeon.
Bullshit.
And
It's gonna be a couple cargo containers buried in a thing, and I'm just gonna I'll put up a big sign that says fucking vault of misery. Look, I'm just saying it's a tunnel where people go in and don't come
Welcome
out.
to the vault of misery.
Yeah,
like
right bottomless pit on the thing. It's fine. No one who's ever gone in comes out. But yeah, that's good. The dude down there.
One way only.
No. Uncouth, release. Yeah, there we go. As you wish, sire. Your command shall be heeded immediately, answered the soldier on the right of Grignr as he stared into the barbarian's seemingly unaffected face. The advisor seated in the... He really was fucking sitting on top of him. Jesus shit. The advisor, seated in the back of the noble, slowly rose and advanced to the side of his master, motioning the wenches seated at his side to remove themselves. He lowered his head and whispered to the noble, Eminence, the punish... Fuck me, I'm out. Because, like, the problem is these aren't bad scenes. Right? Especially for the 70s, where he had infinitely less material to draw on.
Fair, but, like, so poorly described. Like, I have no idea what's going on right now.
Hey, he lived in a world where, like, the computer didn't just underline all the misspelled words. I mean, a lot of this, it would have just thrown up his hands and gone, fuck, I don't know.
Drawn, like, a lot of this is, like, run-on sentences that, like, never end. Like...
Yeah. I think we need to take this up again tomorrow night.
All right.
Okay.
All right, the internet.
All right, so you'll have to wait for more chapters.
That's the first bit.
We're gonna read more of this tomorrow, but this is
Yeah,
just
this is fun.
We will. Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow with more of the Eye of Argon. I mean, this is fun. I think this is great. So.
Yeah.
Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, heart, follow, review, smash that like button on YouTube. Go to BoomerRexTonight, no spaces on Facebook for fun memes and a link to our Patreon. Give us $1. You can find us on YouTube as BoomerX or check your favorite podcasting service for BoomerRexTonight. We can be found on over a dozen different platforms, including Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Samsung Podcasts. Hit us up on Twitter at BoomerRexTonight, and if you Google BoomerRexTonight, no spaces, all links will lead you to us. We love y'all. We'll see you back here tomorrow night for more The Eye of Argon.
It's a good Halloween thing, too.
For sure.